Hey friends, John Laspina here. Going to talk about insulin. I've talked about insulin a lot on my channel, and I'm going to take it from a different angle. If we have just the right amount of insulin at just the right amount of times when we eat, it's healthy because we need insulin. Type 1 diabetics, their pancreas doesn't work at all, their beta cells make no insulin, they will die of malnourishment. So no insulin is death. Too much insulin eventually is disease and death. So you don't want no insulin and you don't want too much insulin. You want just the right amount of insulin. So if your beta cells in your pancreas are functioning properly, when you eat the proper human diet of beef, lamb, pork, poultry, fish, and eggs, cooking only in animal fats like butter, ghee, bacon fat, or beef tallow, or chicken fat, then your body senses the protein that's coming in and it puts out a little bit of insulin to get that protein into the cells for nutrition. If you have the protein mixed with fat, which is the way it comes in nature, all protein is either no fat or it comes with fat, you're getting just the right amount of healthy animal fats. Again, small amount of insulin to get that protein in. Insulin does not respond to fat alone, but when it's paired with protein, we get a little tiny bump of insulin, which is good and healthy. Now, when we eat carbohydrates, which is starch, starch is a long string of glucose molecules. Glucose is simple sugar, C6H12O6, that's the molecule, and it's this long string. The amylase in our mouth and in our stomach quickly breaks down these gigantic starch molecules into glucose, and you're basically eating lots of glucose when you eat starch, potatoes, bread, rice, beans. Anything that is a starch is glucose. And our pancreas senses that and shoots out this gigantic bolus of insulin because it has to neutralize it, because our body does not want to be over a certain level of glucose, because based on body weight, the average amount of glucose that we need flowing in our veins at any given moment is approximately 4 grams. More if you're heavier, less if you're lighter in weight. And when you eat a lot of starch, you're taking that 4 grams in your blood and you're shooting it way up to 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 grams. Your body goes into emergency mode. The pancreas is there to save you, and it's going to shoot out all this insulin, and it's going to take that and it's going to store it as fat. It tells the liver to do de novo lipogenesis. Turn that into fat and store it as fat around the body for a future time of famine that you can later access as energy, like as ketones. If you're constantly consuming starch and sugar, like candy and cake, which is just sugar, honey, maple syrup, anything that's sweetened, anything that is a starch or a carbohydrate. And if you're having breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack, right? That's how I used to eat. Your pancreas is shooting out insulin, tons and tons of insulin. And this is how people become obese. And this is how people start to get sick. And if you do it over a long period of time, this hyperinsulinemia and this enormous constant glucose spike, your body starts to resist it. And you get insulin resistance. And then there's all this insulin that is floating around. It's now going to store everything as a fat. It's how people become obese. And the insulin resistance gets worse and worse. It goes into diabetes. Then the blood sugar does not come down, and it's not being stored as fat as much as it is glycating every part of your body. Damaging. Glycation is when a sugar grabs onto a protein and it messes up the skeletal structure of that protein. That cell is now damaged. And it does it all over the body, in the brain, in the heart, in the liver, in the lungs. All the cells get damaged. In your organs, the kidneys are very susceptible to high sugar glycation. And eventually the extremities, like our toes and our fingers and our feet, they don't receive the blood, oxygen, the hemoglobin. That's why hemoglobin A1C is so high. There's not enough oxygen, and then they start to get deprived of oxygen, and people have to have their toes and their feet amputated. And that is just diabetes over a long period of time, and then eventually people die. Not enough insulin, you die. of malnourishment. Too much insulin, you are sick and eventually die of diabetes-related problems. So insulin is not bad. Insulin is a necessary hormone that we must have in the proper amount, in balance. We have another hormone from the pancreas, from the alpha cells, called glucagon. Insulin and glucagon are like opposites, and they must be in balance. And everything is dictated by the foods that we eat and the stress that we manage and the sleep that we get. Everything can be in the proper balance as God and nature created if we just keep those in check. So eat the proper human diet of no carbohydrates, or as low as possible. No sugars, no vegetable seed oils. And if you stick with the animal kingdom, it's healthier than plants, nuts, seeds, fruits, vegetables. That was about insulin. I hope you took away something. Write a comment, share a thought, and I'll get back to you. And have a great day.